Have you heard the expression, "Don't burn yourself to warm someone else"? It's a very powerful and profound statement, linked to ancient Stoic wisdom about the importance of balancing kindness and self-care. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, the desire to always be good, to always be the one who helps, sometimes turns into a distorted act of nobility, a habit of self-destruction. We give so much of ourselves in the name of others' well-being, but at what cost? The truth is, excessive virtue, when it depletes our own resources and energy, is not virtue at all, but rather a path to our own demise. Many stray from the path, giving so much of themselves that they end up empty, unappreciated, and drained. This is a modern tragedy, where good intentions lead to sorrowful consequences. Stoicism shows us another way, a way to be generous without forgetting ourselves. It teaches us the art of balanced generosity, enriching our own well-being in the process. In this video, we'll explore how Stoic principles can help you set healthy boundaries so that your kindness becomes a source of strength, not depletion. Let's delve into how to be generous without losing self-preservation and follow along as we navigate the fine line between generosity and self-protection, guided by the wisdom of Stoicism. Remember, excessive kindness can become a trap, as Mark Aurelius once said. While helping others, don't forget about yourself. Let's consider the story of two neighboring gardeners. One meticulously tended to his garden, while the other overly generous spent so much time in everyone else's gardens. The managing gardener understood the importance of self-care and cultivating resources, leading to a vibrant and flourishing space. This gardener's plot continued to thrive and even provided extra produce to share with neighbors. On the other hand, the overly generous gardener spent so much time and effort in others' gardens that his own plot was neglected. His garden withered, and the harvest was meager. Wanting to be helpful, he neglected his own needs, leaving his garden, metaphorically speaking, abandoned. Let this serve as a reminder to reflect before diving into helping others. Ask yourself, is this assistance sustainable? Am I preserving my well-being? The ancient Stoics encouraged us to practice Stoicism by setting healthy boundaries. Make sure that in the pursuit of kindness, we don't forget to be kind to ourselves. After all, you can't pour from an empty cup. The goal is to maintain your inner peace and integrity while positively contributing to the lives of others, ensuring a balanced and fulfilling life for both yourself and those you wish to help. Secondly, reciprocity has an expiration date. Kindness is a virtue that enriches our lives and those around us. However, it carries a subtle trap when practiced without moderation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy still relevant in our modern hustle, teaches us an important lesson about the limits of virtue. Offering sincere help is noble, but expecting the same generosity in return may lead us down the path of disappointment. Life has a way of showing us that what we do today may not be remembered tomorrow. This is not a reflection of our worth or the value of our actions, but a natural deviation of human memory and gratitude. Let's consider acts of giving as planting a tree. We hope it will grow and perhaps one day provide shade or fruit. However, nature runs its course with storms, droughts, and seasonal changes, expanding goodness. We must separate ourselves from the expectation of direct returns, especially in Stoicism, focusing on our actions rather than their outcomes. Some things are within our control, and some are not, he said, reminding us that the joy of giving should come from the act itself, not the expectation of reciprocity. This mindset shields us from the pain of unmet expectations and teaches emotional resilience, allowing us to continue being kind and generous without feeling drained. It doesn't mean hardening our hearts, but finding balance. Acknowledge that your kindness reflects your character rather than a transaction. In doing so, we not only protect our peace of mind, but also cultivate self-sufficiency and truly reward generosity. This Stoic principle urges us to give freely but wisely, ensuring that our kindness enriches. How can we apply the Stoic principle of generosity in everyday relationships? Think of a specific scenario where you can offer kindness or support without expecting anything in return. Consider practical steps you can take to ensure that your generosity remains a source of personal satisfaction rather than depletion. Lastly, there are no limitations on serving others. From extreme services required by members of the royal family to everyday requests, it's clear that people still expect much from us, often asking for services they could handle themselves. Stoicism sheds light on this, teaching the value of setting boundaries and embracing moderation. This ancient philosophy serves as a beacon guiding us through the sea of endless demands, enabling us to act with intention and preserve our emotional well-being. Stoicism isn't about refusing help, but finding balance so that we don't get lost in supporting others. Consider the story of a mother and her adult daughter in a picturesque town. The mother, out of love, cared so much for her daughter that it hindered her from fulfilling her duties. This dynamic persisted until the premature death of the mother. Remarkably, the daughter's independence after her mother's passing was marred by great anguish because she didn't know how to live since her mother did everything for her, depriving her of responsibility. This story highlights an important lesson. While our intentions may be pure, excessive support can unintentionally hinder growth. Marcus Aurelius embodied this wisdom in his reflections, stating that a person's task is to stand straight, not be propped up. This guidance urges us to promote self-sufficiency, fostering a balance that serves the interests of all parties. Seneca, with his profound understanding of human relationships, noted that someone who becomes your friend for profit will also cease to be a friend for profit. This serves as a powerful reminder of the need to cultivate relationships based on genuine connections rather than transactions. True friendship and support should depend not on what we can offer, but on mutual respect and understanding. Stoicism teaches us to value ourselves not for what we can give, but for who we are, cultivating a sense of self-worth and genuine connections. It allows us to embrace moderation, setting boundaries for our well-being. Prioritizing duties and needs not only preserves our authenticity, but also motivates us to engage in more meaningful acts of generosity. This balanced approach to life and relationships ensures that we remain true to ourselves and our values. Living a life full of virtue and integrity in accordance with the demands of modern society is important. Remember that attending to our own needs is not selfishness, but a necessary act of self-care. Being noticed and treating oneself as fragile is a lesson Stoicism teaches us about inner resilience and self-control. It's about building inner strength, strengthening the art of self-sufficiency, and establishing clear boundaries that define our personal space. However, if we constantly and persistently strive to please others without firm boundaries, we become vulnerable and easily exploitable. This cycle of overload and exploitation drains us, leaving us feeling undervalued and overwhelmed. But when we begin to assert our boundaries, changes occur. We are no longer the solution to every demand or request. This self-assurance reflects a new self-respect. Cicero said that what you think of yourself is much more important than what others think of you. Setting boundaries and practicing self-discipline not only protects our honest and emotional well-being, but also our dignity. It is an expression of high values and evidence of respect that we demand from the world. This mindset changes the dynamics of our relationships, establishing mutual respect based on dignity and high worth. However, implementing these changes comes with certain difficulties. The universal availability often attracts those seeking assistance, but isolates the time to celebrate. It's a harsh reality where openness can lead to the exclusion of joyful moments, limiting its role to that of an absent helper during leisure times. This realization, albeit bitter, serves as a test to recognize genuine connections from opportunistic ones. It's an exercise in acknowledging the nuanced approach to whom we offer our time and energy. Did you know that practicing boundary setting, a central principle of Stoicism, not only enhances our personal well-being, but also elevates the quality of our relationships? It's a curious yet true aspect of human psychology. When we respect each other enough to say no, we earn respect from others, transforming the power of self-respect and the importance of insightfulness in our connections. By adhering to Stoic wisdom, we not only shield ourselves from depletion, but also cultivate truly enriching and mutually beneficial relationships. If you've learned something valuable so far, leave a comment to show your support. Now let's discuss strategies to avoid overcommitment. Fearlessly say no. Deeply contemplate why the word no often feels so heavy, tracing its weight back to ancient lessons associating kindness with acceptance. These deeply ingrained lessons, rooted in our formative years, are permeated with the fear of rejection, shaping a belief system that emphasizes privacy. Stoic philosophy challenges us to challenge and analyze these entrenched notions, advocating for a life of conscious choice rather than being swept away by the currents of the past. As adults, we have autonomy in defining our interactions, recognizing that the fears instilled in us as children no longer hold power over us. Through the lens of Stoicism, we are equipped with mental tools to analyze our emotions, allowing us to respond to life's demands with thoughtfulness rather than being manipulated by past habits. Setting boundaries through refusal, especially when requests encroach upon our well-being or sense of fairness, becomes not only a challenge but also a profound demonstration of self-respect and autonomy. However, it's crucial to balance our newfound confidence with empathy and emotional intelligence. Stoicism advocates not only for personal interest or isolation, but also underscores the importance of making a positive contribution to our community and the lives of others. The philosophy urges us to seek a middle ground where we can offer assistance and support to others without compromising our own well-being. Here, the notion of eudaimonia comes into play, acting in a way that benefits others while satisfying their viable needs. Recognizing our own limitations is a testament to true Stoic wisdom, ensuring that our acts of kindness are not only acts of self-discipline, but also acts of compassion and understanding, strengthening the society in which mutual respect and support thrive. Pay attention to your feelings. Embracing Stoicism directs us towards self-analysis and mindfulness, prompting us to examine our thoughts and emotions, enhancing mental resilience. This ancient wisdom urges us to become guardians of our inner world, observing our reactions and feelings, especially in acts of generosity, to ensure that true assistance to others uplifts us, akin to floating clouds. Conversely, feelings of exhaustion, irritation, or exploitation signal the need for recalibration. Recognizing that our contributions, while voluntary, can start to undermine our peace of mind is important. Acknowledging this discomfort is not self-deception, but a courageous act of self-care, ensuring that our kindness remains a source of joy rather than draining our spirit. Seeing ourselves as a priority may seem easy to navigate in bright areas, but entirely neglecting our well-being reflects the Stoic virtues of discipline and self-respect. Setting aside moments for self-care is non-negotiable. It nurtures the soul, teaching us the art of self-preservation. Avoiding a dismissive attitude towards oneself, take care of your physical, emotional, and mental health. Acknowledge your presence, nurture your needs. Such an approach demands your full commitment. Fully embrace who you are, forgive your past mistakes, and see how each year unfolds as a canvas for personal renewal. Choose activities solely for your pleasure, considering this as evidence of self-love. Keep your boundaries impeccable, refusing others if their demands encroach upon your sanctuary. Offer assistance within your means, emphasizing that your personal renewal takes precedence. Identify those who only take advantage. Employing Stoic virtues such as self-control and insight allows us to distinguish relationships that enrich us from those that deplete our spirit. Interacting with people who constantly demand more, whether in attention, time, or resources, reflects a dynamic where our caretaking role is exhausted by insatiable demand. Stoicism reminds us that change is a door only one can open. Believing we can change others through pure goodwill is a misconception. True transformation is a personal journey initiated by individual will, not external intervention. This philosophy does not advocate indifference, but rather a balanced approach to relationships where excessive generosity can be sterile, while greed isolates us. Stoicism urges us to harness our capacity for kindness and generosity while wielding the sword of insight, severing ties when necessary for our well-being. It's about finding equilibrium, ensuring our acts of kindness don't compromise our own viability. Remember, the strongest relationships are those where both parties thrive, not where one fades while the other flourishes. Stoicism calls us to seek this balance, prompting us to carefully assess our actions and their consequences. Seneca, a celebrated figure of Stoic thought, beautifully conveys this idea. Kindness is a treasure. It should be stored away like buried treasure, to be dug up only when needed. It speaks to being discerning in our dealings with others, acknowledging the deep connection that unites all humanity. If this message resonates with you, let us know in the comments. If you're interested in learning more about how Stoicism can enrich your life, don't forget to share and subscribe to our channel. Your support is crucial in helping us create content that resonates with you. Together, we'll build a community of curious minds striving to learn and grow. Thank you for your attention, and until the next video, stay strong and honorable.